I think my favorite video I created throughout this course was the one on factoring trinomials. Hopefully you can pick up on the different multimedia principles from Clark and Mayer. Let me highlight some of my favorite parts. I start with an intro of an animated stick figure speaking in my voice to the audience. I like how Adobe Express can use AI to animate different characters that will match your voice and movements. I couldn't find a character that looked just like me, so I chose the stick figure one.
Hi, I'm Phil. Today we will factor trinomials with a leading coefficient of 1.
This demonstrates several of the principles that we learned in Module 5, like the personalization principle, the voice principle, and the embodiment principle.
When we factor a trinomial, we want to find what was multiplied together to get that trinomial as our answer.
Throughout the video, I make sure to speak to my learners and not at them by using language like we, you, and I. This is what the personalization principle is all about. You can also see a lot of signaling which uses visual cues to direct our attention to something important. You just saw that with the arrow that points to the trinomial.
Take a look at the trinomial x squared plus 7x plus 12. Since there is no number in front of our first term, we would say that the leading coefficient is 1. It will not affect its value, so we do not write it.
Again, you see signaling with the blue arrow pointing to the spot at the front of the equation, as I want my students to see that there is not a number written in this place.
The factors of a trinomial will be written within two sets of parentheses. The first two terms of each set of parentheses will both be x, because when multiplied together, x times x equals x squared. The fun, challenging part is to find the right two numbers. These numbers must be factors of the last term, 12. But when added together, their sum must equal the middle number, 7.
Another principle you'll notice is the modality principle. People learn better when the words are presented as audio narration rather than with text. I tried to minimize what words and numbers I put on the screen and just use what was necessary. One exception to this was for students who are learning in a second language. It was recommended to include subtitles for them. With that in mind, I created two sets of every video. The English version did not include subtitles because these students wouldn't need them, but the second version has the video in English and uses Spanish subtitles at the bottom. Here you can see the Google Sites page that I created. I ended up making a bank of instructional videos for my quadratics unit. On the left side of the screen, you can see the original video in English, and then on the right side, you can see the video with Spanish subtitles. And I did this for all of my videos. Now that I know how to use Adobe Express and have learned the multimedia principles, I'm planning on making more of these videos to add to my bank.
Think about the factors of 12. There are different ways to multiply two numbers and get 12. One helpful strategy is to draw a little T-chart. On the left side, we will write 12 at the top, and then we will list the factors of it. 1 times 12 equals 12, 2 times 6 equals 12, and 3 times 4 equals 12. But we want the factors that will add to give us the middle number 7. If we add 1 and 12, we get 13, so that is not correct. 2 plus 6 equals 8, so that is not it either. 3 plus 4 equals 7. These are the correct numbers.
One of the principles we learned early on is the temporal contiguity principle. It basically says to keep the words and graphics in sync. This is something I've spent a lot of time on, adjusting the timing of everything that enters and exits the screen to match my narration. It's been a lot of fun implementing these multimedia principles into my videos. I definitely feel like I've learned a lot, and I know there's still plenty more to learn as I get more practice.